This is, again, one that didn't get a huge amount of coverage in the U.S., though, but it probably should have. You got a bunch of U.S. doctors and nurses saying what's going on here is war crimes and we should not be supporting it. But they clearly lay out that the tactics Israel is using and the fact that the U.S. continues to provide weapons is very problematic. And they talk about the injuries they're seeing are just not consistent with accidental injuries, things happening to children. The letter is definitely worth reading. One quote that stands out: "Every one of us on a daily basis has treated children who were shot in the head or chest." So they kind of get into a lot of these things that we've seen, a little bit of reporting on, but it just goes back to there's definitely a deliberate attempts to kill children. They seem to be seeing a lot of that. You'll hear that a lot from the relief workers. Another one in the letter: 1 in 40 healthcare workers in Gaza have been killed. And so they're also talking about the healthcare workers, the doctors, the nurses that were already in Gaza, most likely Palestinian. It says they work grueling hours while losing their own family members and have not been paid since October 7th. So you got all these people who are working in the hospitals unpaid while their family members are also being attacked. And the healthcare workers, as we've talked about in the past, are potentially targeted quite often as well. But they've all had similar experiences that often they'll get kidnapped. And keep in mind, these are doctors, nurses, X-ray technicians, people working at hospitals. Quite a few of these Palestinians working there will get kidnapped. The letter says all had a similar experience in captivity. They were barely fed, physically abused, and eventually dumped naked on the side of the road. So that is not back to not normal. This is a country, the country that is doing this to medical workers during a time of war zone is a country we continue to send bombs and weaponry to. So very a huge frustration you can tell in the letter that these doctors are, witnessing this and seeing all the carnage coming into their ER rooms while also their hospitals are being bombed and targeted deliberately. And then they are trying to be heard in the U.S., where there's just not an appetite among our leaders to listen for the most part and hear what they have to say.